The member for Penrith and Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I'd like to inform the House about the NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation, which is a wonderful organisation that operates in the Penrith electorate. And Mr Speaker, the basis of this research foundation was established in 2000 by one of the sub-deans at NEPEAN Hospital when it became a teaching hospital affiliated with the University of Sydney, and his name was Professor Suris Nakari. And at that stage it was very much in its infancy. There was limited research being done at the hospital, but this particular professor had a strong passion for making sure that Western Sydney had a particular focus on this area. Now, as evolution took place and as people got involved in the hospital, the NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation decided to affiliate formally with Sydney University, and that reflects the fact that NEPEAN is actually a teaching hospital for that university. In 2006, under a bit of a leadership from John Bateman, a strong local representative, they came up with the idea of taking $2,500 from people who wanted to be known as philanthropists or NEPEAN philanthropists, and those people became the basis of what is the NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation. And their focus is about identifying today's research for tomorrow's treatments. And since that time, they've been able to establish up to 50 NEPEAN philanthropists, and they call themselves the NEPEAN Phils. And those people have raised over $1.8 million for research to be conducted across a number of different fields, and they include cancer, geriatrics, obstetricians, gynaecology, critical care and surgery. And these people are making an absolutely wonderful achievement and wonderful commitment to what is taking place at the forefront of research. And I know, listening to a lot of the doctors there's a really strong focus in Western Sydney on translational research. That's about looking at things that can actually be implemented inside the hospital for treatment and care of people, particularly across Western Sydney. Now, last week, Mr Speaker, I was able to attend one of Sydney University's annual scientific days at the NEPEAN Clinical School, and this is a day where Sydney Uni brings a number of its local doctors and students. They come together and undertake a series of activities across the course of the day. It's also a day where the NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation hands out some of its research grants, and this year they handed out about $106,000 worth of grants for research to be conducted by people connected to Sydney University there at NEPEAN. Mr Speaker, there's no doubt that an organisation like this has been able to tap into the incredibly strong sense of community that exists within the Penrith community, right across the NEPEAN region. There's no doubt that the NEPEAN Phils represent a group of people who understand that if you're from Penrith or if you're from Western Sydney, there's no reason why we aren't able to access the best possible care, access the best possible doctors. But rather than just being people who talk about it, they've actually got together, they've put their hand in their pocket, and they've generated $1.8 million in that time to make sure that they can actually play a role in ensuring that we get access to the best possible care by attracting the best possible researchers, the best possible doctors. And that, Mr Speaker, is at its core the fundamental reason why we should be supporting organisations like this. There is no doubt that we're able to attract people from overseas who can bring wonderful talents into our healthcare system. But if we're not able to fund the research, there's no way we can unleash the talent that exists right across this area. And that's why something like the NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation is able to offer that support. Mr Speaker, I think for a group of people who came up with an idea to put in $2,500 a year over a 5-year period, generate that type of money, they're having such a significant impact. I just would like to acknowledge the president of the organisation, Gwen McMaster-Fay, who's no doubt been the driving force behind the NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation since its beginning. I know that they've got a council of about 13 people that represent business and community interests right across the Penrith area. I'd also like to recognise Deanna Melbourne, who's the manager of NEPEAN Medical Research Foundation at the moment. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the close connection between Sydney University and in the earlier days where Sydney University were matching those NEPEAN Phil contributions dollar for dollar, allowed that foundation when it was in its infancy to get established. It's making a massive contribution to the lives of people in Western Sydney, and long may it continue.